Om jag säger Style Pit så kanske inte alla känner till vilka det är. Men om jag säger SMARTGUY Group, då vet ni vilka jag pratar om. Style Pit grundades år 2000 och säljer kläder med över 70 000 produkter, fler än 1,5 miljoner registrerade kunder, 250 anställda och närvaro i mer än 20 länder. Förutom i Sverige och Danmark så har Style Pit närvaro har de lokala e-butiker, regionkontor och dotterbolag i flera än 20 marknader i Europa. Koncernen börsnoterades i Danmark i slutet av förra året och för närvarande är det värderat till ungefär 1 miljard svenska kronor. Välkommen Esben Elmøe. Hej Esben. Du står på den sidan.
I'll take this side.
Jag är lite nyfiken på dig.
Yeah.
Du har skapat lite rubriker i Danmark när du kom in i SmartGUYs resa. Du flyttade bland annat anställda, du sparkade ut konsulter, så flyttade du dem till Ukraina och så nu är lagret på väg till Polen.
Yeah, I'm a very controversial guy in Denmark because I fired all the consultancy and the standard IT systems. I moved the whole setup in Denmark in terms of IT to Ukraine. And last things where I really got a lot of media attention is that I moved the warehouse to Poland. And we are basically doing this because e-commerce right now, it's a very, very tough market. We've been doing profit for 13 years. And it's getting more and more difficult because we have a lot of players who's playing like Abramovich, the Chelsea owner. They're putting a lot of money into this market and hoping that we will win medals, but not looking at the profit line. So we are basically all the time looking at how to optimize our business.
Du ska få berätta mer om det. Varsågod.
Hey. As I said, I'm Danish. I also have a lot of myths about the Swedish people. I will not talk about this so far. But it's correct, as the other one was saying, that Dankort, very important if you want to operate in Denmark. In Sweden, you also need Klarna to be able to operate in Sweden. Oh, I need this one. Very short about me. I joined the team 4 years ago in SmartGUY, and we changed the whole setup. We moved all standard systems and started building our own system, and we did it in Ukraine, where we built up a new setup. We also started up customer service in Ukraine, and we started up translations in Ukraine, because one of the big problems in Denmark and Sweden also is we have a lot of good merchants. We have a lot of skilled people. We have a lot of skilled design people. But we also have very, very high salary when we talk about packing and doing manual stuff. So we basically thought that we needed to do a combination of the two to make an efficient business. As I shortly said, that we are doing a revenue of 450 million Danish, which is approximately 550 million Swedish. And we had very aggressive setup. We launched 17 countries in 17 months, basically creating local companies in countries like Russia, Ukraine. And if you're talking about it's difficult to create a company in Denmark, try Ukraine or Poland. We just wanted a bank account in Poland. It took 9 months. And just to create a company in Ukraine, it took 9 months, I think, to be able to operate in these countries. We got listed. Last year was not so, not a lot of people, companies in Denmark got listed. We were actually the only one. Only one company in Denmark was listed on Nasdaq last year. We were one of them. I think we were in Scandinavia. It was like 4 or 5 companies. So we are now a listed company. Oh, I need to wait a little bit. So we put a lot of flags. And I'm telling you, all these countries, Very, very different approach in each of them. We have local countries and local companies in Germany, Sweden, Finland, Russia, Poland, and Ukraine. And you need to operate differently in each of these countries. In Russia, as an example, everyone pays in cash. You know, it's not Dankort, it's not credit cards, it's cool cash. We even give discount. I try to give discount of 6% if they used credit card. No. In Russia, they pay with cash. We also had, they're very patient guys in Russia. In the beginning, we had a lot of logistic problems. It took 30 days to deliver the packages, but they were still happy, which were quite amazing. I think if we are one day late in Germany, we have a very aggressive German guy calling up and telling us our customer service is really, 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 really bad. So the patience in Russia is quite interesting. We are running completely localized, which is the key things in all markets. It's to be local. We also have a little problems. Simon, our country manager in Sweden, we are trying a lot to be very localized in Sweden, but sometimes, you know, we have small Danish words on our Swedish website, and it doesn't help on conversion. And Simon is saying, "Oh, now you did it again. You have Danish word on our website. You're killing it." And this is the biggest problem on all these websites. It's basically to be localized, to be really Russian, to be really Finnish, to be really Swedish. And we're working very, very hard to achieve this goal. But it's very difficult also from management point of view, because when I'm looking at the Finnish site, I have no clue what it says. And we had one issue in Finland. That also was looking fine, but then there was a Dutch text on the front page. That was why conversion was dropping. We had the same problem because we're running so many different countries. We sent a Russian newsletter to our 1 million Danish customers. I'll also tell you the conversion was quite poor. But we got a lot of attention. So I won't say easy, but it has to be localized. And also, I'm also having good stories about Russia. It's the only country where it's actually very, very good to show that we are not local. So to put a Danish flag on the website is really, really good. It's like a quality stamp that we won't cheat you. We're actually sending the goods. The rest of the countries, in Sweden, you have to be very, very Swedish to sell. Last year we we didn't win, even if I'm standing in the middle, and it looks like I'm winning. It was a silver medal in e-commerce. And it was basically because I think we are one of the e-commerce companies who launched most countries localized. And it's not so difficult, actually. One of the main problems was translations. The first time I wanted to do a translation, you know, we had all our text in Danish. And I sent it to a Danish translator. Please translate all these 70,000 products and give me a price. And I said, no, there's no problem. And then they wrote back 2 days later. Yeah, if you pay 2.7 million Danish, which is like 3.2 million Swedish, then my budget for these 20 countries changed a little bit, and especially because we're in fashion, which basically means that 25% of all these products is out of hand, so it will basically be 3.2 million Swedish a year. And then we said, okay, what to do? We set up a team in Ukraine, and now we do translation for 50,000 Danish, which is like 60,000 Swedish. So it's much easier to launch countries with 60,000 in cost to launch a new country. Again, we are local. If you call us, sometimes when I do the conference, I take my phone and I call the Russian customer service and the Finnish customer service just to understand that this is a unique payment system for each country. For Denmark, it's Dankort. For Holland, it's Ideal. For France, it's Carte de Banquier. And for Sweden, you also need Klarna. You really like to pay with Klarna in Sweden. So, and in Germany, it's even worse. You have 14 important payment methods that you need to provide to do business in Germany. Again, very shortly, localization, support, and trusted e-commerce on all these websites. That's the key to become localized. And to have success on any of these countries. Biggest issue all the time in this is that we have been making profit for 13 years, and it's getting harder. And the only reason why we're able to do profit is basically because we have a setup where we have 70 people in Ukraine, and now we are moving stock to Poland. And there's a lot of, when I speak with a lot of the e-commerce guys around Europe, they basically consider Western Poland as to be the packaging center of all e-commerce in Europe, because we are getting pushed on all prices on packaging. The industry is getting more and more mature, and you have so much many people and who's putting a lot of money into marketing and pushing all kind of profit levels. Just to show you where we have a big center. It's called a very difficult city to pronounce. I'm testing everyone. Can you pronounce Dnipropetrovsk? It's a big area of 5 million people, and they're very, very skilled. In Soviet times, this was like a closed area where they built nuclear bombs and put put robot cars on the moon. So they're bloody hell skilled. And this is like one of our key factors in this, that we have 70 people in this area of 5 million from very strong universities at what are called reasonable prices in terms of salary. Then we also made a big decision in Denmark. We were saying we are not Danish anymore because we are moving our stock from Denmark to Poland. It's a big decision, and it's a matter of optimizing the whole concept. Polish salary is 25% of a Danish one, so we are actually saving 25 million Danish a year, which is a lot of money. And we are basically doing it to be better in terms of packaging compared to our competitors. Never stop developing. We looked a lot more pink a few years back, working a lot on the design to improve the whole setup. Then we're also doing a lot of. We have started our what we call M&A strategy. We see a lot of companies around Europe who's getting pushed in terms of financial, and we are basically buying them up. And we have an IT setup where we can very easily import the setup. We bought a German company, a small one, a few weeks ago, and it took us around 2 days to merge it into our IT platform. And this is like one of our key setups. It's basically to be able to buy different e-commerce companies in the strategy. Because we have one issue in Scandinavia, or we have several issues, also good ones. But a lot of these closed shops and providers, closed vendors, they put a higher price on the Swedish and Danish market. And if we have to be competitive on all the brands that we are running, some of them is better to buy in Germany than to buy them in Scandinavia. And that's basically why we're buying up in Germany, is also to get a platform to buy up the clothes at the prices that some of our competitors is buying it. Thank you.
Any questions?
Yeah, absolutely. Very impressive. You're moving very fast.
Yes.
What's your management style?
Oh, it's a little bit chaotic, very focused on execution, and a lot of positive people who's working hard every day. That's the only way to do it. So we are very, even if we are quite big, we are still what I call entrepreneurs, and we have a lot of entrepreneurial spirit. So we have a saying, it's called, in Danish, vi rykker, it's in Spanish, vamos, and in Russian, it's davai davai, which means that we execute, and we execute. We analyze, and then we execute.
Och innan vi fortsätter, en sån person som du har anställt precis, ska vi ta upp på scenen, som är från Sverige. Välkommen upp Simon Sannebäck.
Tjena.
Hej.
Tack.
Välkommen Simon.
Tackar.
Vi måste bara introducera dig. De flesta känner ju igen dig såklart. Men du jobbade ju för Top Streetwear och sen jobbade du på Brightstep.
Stämmer.
Men så fick du ett mail som där det stod Simon, I know who you are.
Det
stämmer. Berätta om det.
Nej, jag fick ett mail faktiskt från koncernchefen Nikolaj Kärgård. Det stod Simon, I know who you are, call me. Sen så fanns det ingen signatur på det. Det stod sent from my iPhone. Så jag var tvungen att leta upp vem det var. Så det var jättekul att prata med Nikolaj. Och det tog ett par månader innan vi...
Och vad var det som var intressant då med SmartGuy eller StylePit?
Jag har känt till SmartGuy ganska länge. Bolaget har gjort väldigt mycket kontroversiella beslut, har gjort mycket intressanta saker. Men det som ändrade på allt var när jag åkte till Danmark och träffade herrarna för första gången. Det påminner mig om amerikaner. Jag har aldrig träffat människor som var så öppna och så generösa med information. Vanligtvis när jag träffar svenska företag så brukar man säga nej men det här är hemligt, det här pratar vi inte om. Och SmartGuy har precis börsnoterats och de svarade på alla mina frågor. De till och med öppnade en dator och sa här, varsågod, what do you want to know? Så att det är en helt annan mentalitet och jag blev helt kär i bolaget på en gång.
Frågor?
How are you organized to improve all the time? I mean, that seems to be a core of what you're doing, improving.
Yeah, we're spread out because we have people in Ukraine, Denmark, Sweden, Russia, etc. And we are basically having Skype meetings every day where we do a lot of planning, where we're actually sitting 20 people on Skype every day and saying this is what we do today on the planning. And even for IT, we call it market-driven development, which is very strange for IT people, that they should be able to change on the market and not on a long-term 6 months plan. So this is the way we are managing.
What's your release cycle?
Our release cycle is every 7 days on average, which is very often and too often sometimes. But it's a way of having the right energy and the right people, then you can basically do it. But sometimes it goes wrong.
Men det här att ni har en egenutvecklad plattform.
Yeah.
Vad är fördelarna med det?
Oh, that's the whole key part. I had software companies before, so I know how it is to build a standard system and sell it, and it's very good to sell it. To buy standard platforms is a little worse because it restricts your able to move. It restricts your agile way of doing business because you're basically stuck on a platform. And it's taken me 3.5 years to get out of Navision, which is a standard system that I tried to kill for 3.5 years. And now finally we managed. And you have to understand when you do IT development, for example, the people who developed Word, Excel, etc., the first version was done by 7 people. So you actually don't need a lot of people. You just need very, very skilled IT people. Then it's actually cheaper to develop yourself than buy a standard system where you get locked into some kind of supplier.
Vad tycker du Simon om det här som har jobbat med båda?
Det är viktigt att poängtera att vi har i vårt system så har vi 165 sajter. Så det är extremt mycket. Jag tror det är väldigt mycket om man jämför med andra e-handelsleverantörer i Sverige. Så när vi pratar med vår IT-chef så säger han vi är en e-handelsleverantör, vi är ingen modebutik. Och det är den mentaliteten vi har. Och det är samma sak i varenda avdelning på bolaget. Jag själv de första 3 veckorna så åkte jag till Danmark. Och det första jag fick höra när jag kom dit var Simon, other companies they are running and they are running fast. But smart guy, this guy, everything is just happening all the time. Och det fick jag det intrycket efter några dagar. Så att mycket sker på väldigt kort tid. Och det har jag märkt från de andra bolag som jag jobbat med innan, som har varit entreprenöriella. Det är fortfarande samma den här entreprenöriella andan, men i mycket större skala.
Panelen, har ni något?
Will you have the same service levels for the customers when your warehouse is outsourced to Poland?
We the worst part is actually we were calculating that it will be when we did the decision that it will be 10 to 20% worse in terms of delivery time. But now we talk with different logistic companies, and now we actually increased it. So even if we move further away from Denmark, because we can have people working all night, we are basically improving the speed of delivery, which is quite crazy that we are moving the stock from Denmark to Poland, and then we're getting faster in terms of delivery back to Denmark again, and Sweden and Norway. And also we are getting closer to our main logistic hub in Europe, which is Berlin. It's one of the big ones. So for delivery to Germany, Russia, Ukraine, Holland, etc., we are actually much faster.
So you are developing your own platform.
Yeah.
You're moving into more countries, so it's becoming more and more complicated, the business.
Yes.
And you're growing really fast.
Yes.
Is focus ever an issue? Are you worried that you won't be able to focus?
Focus is our main concern all the time. And we are discussing it all the time, that is it good to be in 20 countries instead of 10? And for the last 5-6 months, we actually haven't launched a lot of countries because we have some countries where we need to build up better. But we are ready again, and we also bought 2 companies, smaller ones. So it's difficult, and we are discussing it in management and in the board all the time. What is the focus and the priorities? But we basically do priorities a lot, and we do it every day, and we just change it based on the market. And this is like the mentality. This is like we have a long-term strategy. This is where we want to move. But every day we shift a little bit, go a little bit to the right, and then but we have the long-term direction. It's pretty clear for us.
Jag har lärt mig ett nytt ordspråk sen jag pratade med dig, Simon.
Ja.
Och det är cash is God. Det gäller att vara lönsam alltså.
Ja.
Det ska bli jättespännande att följa er i framtiden och se vad som kommer att hända. Tack så jättemycket för att ni kom.
Tack ska ni ha.
Tack.